So you're studying for your commercial driver's license? You are in exactly the right place. We've dug into the official manual and pulled out the most critical safety rules. You know, the ones you absolutely have to know for your exam. Let's dive in.
And hey, I'm not kidding about that. These rules are pulled straight from the official handbook, which literally says these questions may be on your test. So yeah, if you want to walk into that exam feeling totally confident, this is the stuff to master.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, proactive seeing. Then, we'll get into communicating your intentions. After that, we'll cover the really precise rules for emergencies, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key things you need to memorize.
Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation of all safe driving, seeing. And look, this is way more than just glancing out your windshield. It's about actively gathering all the information you can to stay safe. It's truly your first line of defense out there.
So here's the magic number you've got to remember, 12 to 15 seconds. That's how far ahead you need to be looking down the road. The manual is super specific about this. It gives you enough of a buffer to spot a hazard and react smoothly, instead of, having to slam on the brakes at the last second.
Now you might be wondering, what does 12 to 15 seconds actually look like on the road? Well, when you're cruising at highway speeds, that works out to about a quarter of a mile. A full quarter mile. That's the safety zone you need to be constantly scanning. Of course, looking ahead is only half the battle. You have to know what's happening all around you. And that means your mirrors are your best friends, especially in these key moments. You got to check before you even think about changing lanes, check again right after you signal, definitely when you're merging, and constantly when you're in any tight spaces.
And this right here is so important. Your mirrors are great, but they're not enough. No matter what, every single commercial vehicle has big blind spots. Honestly, being aware of what your mirrors can't show you is what separates a good driver from a great one.
So, once you're seeing everything, the next step is communicating. Being a safe driver isn't a solo act, right? You've got to clearly and constantly tell everyone else on the road what you're about to do. No surprises. So, how do you let the folks behind you know you need to slow down? Well, there are two great ways. First, a few light taps on the brake pedal, just enough to flash your lights and give them a heads up. If you have to slow way down, turn on your 4-way emergency flashers. Just make sure you check the laws in whatever state you're in, because the rules can change.
Okay, listen up, because this is a big one that could definitely be on your test. Your job is to signal what you are going to do. It is absolutely not your job to play traffic cop and wave other drivers on to pass you. That's super dangerous, and if there's an accident, you could be held responsible. Just don't do it.
All right, let's get into the high-stakes stuff. If you have to pull over and stop on the side of the road, there is a very precise procedure for placing your warning devices. Memorizing these rules isn't just for the test. It's about keeping yourself and everyone else safe.
Pay close attention here. If you're on a one-way street or a divided highway, all 3 of your warning triangles go behind your truck facing the oncoming traffic. The first one goes 10 feet back, the next one goes 100 feet back, and the last one goes 200 feet back. Just burn this into your brain. 10, 100, 200.
But the rules change if you're on a 2-lane road with traffic coming from both directions. Now you have to warn both sides. So you put one triangle 100 feet ahead of your vehicle and another one 100 feet behind it. That third one goes within 10 feet of the truck, right near the corner on the traffic side. Now, there's one really important exception. Say you're stopped just over a hill or around a blind curve. People can't see you. In that case, you have to move that rearmost triangle way back, anywhere from 100 to 500 feet. You've got to give approaching drivers enough time to see the warning and react.
And here is a tip that could literally save your life. When you get out and walk to place your triangles, always hold them between yourself and the oncoming traffic. This makes you way more visible and even gives you a little bit of protection. Your safety comes first, always.
Phew, okay. We have covered a ton of critical info. So now, let's boil it all down to the absolute key points you need to have memorized cold before you walk into that exam. This is your final review.
All right, let's lock this in. First, look ahead 12 to 15 seconds. That's a quarter mile on the highway. Second, warn other drivers when you're slowing down with brake taps or flashers. Third, know those triangle placements by heart for both divided highways and 2-lane roads. And finally, for your own safety, always hold those triangles between you and the traffic. So, to wrap this all up, I'm going to leave you with a question. Don't just read this stuff, start living it. The next time you're on the road, even if you're just a passenger, which one of these rules will you actively practice visualizing? Because turning this knowledge into second nature, well, that's what's going to make you a safe, professional driver. Good luck on your test. You got this.